from the campus of Bowling Green State University.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chase Bachman. Thanks for joining us. Today is September 14th. This week, the university is beginning random surveillance testing in an effort to track coronavirus cases. Reporter Macey Austin explains what happens if you're one of the people selected for testing.
This week, BGSU begins random COVID tests for students on the main campus. The students selected for the tests receive an email or a text message with 1 week to schedule an appointment. Testing is free and will be done on campus or at the Falcon Health Center. As a part of the COVID-19 personal and community health requirements and the Falcon commitment, students who are selected are expected to participate. BGSU will exempt students from testing if they are under 18, do not come to the main campus, or if they've tested positive for COVID within the past 90 days. These students are able to opt out of testing upon completing a form sent in the selection email. Weekly COVID testing aims to test students who are asymptomatic. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Macey Austin.
The coronavirus makes large gatherings while staying safe a near impossibility, but campus groups are still figuring out how to make things work. Reporter Ryan Luchene spoke with the BGSU men's chorus to figure out how the music isn't over just yet.
Throughout the summer, directors of the ensembles and bands and choruses waited to see what was in store for their respective groups. It was about 3 to 4 weeks before classes that everyone learned what was next.
The university considered several things. Large group singing and large group wind instrument playing is pretty dangerous right now, especially inside. So that was one thing.
Because of this, credit for ensembles like men's and women's choruses were dropped, making them not available in the fall for college credit.
But I'm still a little disappointed because I feel like men's chorus and women's chorus are one of the big ways that people who are not music majors still make music around campus.
But that didn't stop them. Now, chorus members in both men's and women's choruses are singing in small groups to keep the spirits up. They get in separate groups, 6 feet apart with masks on, stand in circles, and have 4 30-minute sectionals with no more than 12 in each group, all practicing for future virtual music projects.
I do think it's smart because it gives us lots of flexibility and it gives us lots of opportunities for people to do whatever they're comfortable with.
Chorale will be working on pieces written by African American composers in support of Black Lives Matter, while men's chorus will be doing work with alumni of the chorus to sing traditional pieces. For BG24 News, this is Ryan Luchene.
Shifting to sports, Mid-American Conference competition postponed until the spring, but that isn't stopping teams. Reporter Jake Elston spoke with coaches to see how they're keeping their players sharp.
The start of the fall semester for BG is here, and we all know what that means, the return of fall sports. But this fall feels different than years past. No games to be played, no cheers from the crowd, no strategizing on how to beat the next team. The opponent right now is still COVID-19. This hasn't stopped our sports programs as they are still making sure to practice safely and efficiently.
We're kind of thankful because we have a lot of freshmen. We have a lot of new people that we want to teach everything to. And so getting to have this time is a little bit of a breath of fresh air because we don't have to rush anything. But it's just different. So we have to, stay focused and we'll go one day at a time. And I think the team has a pretty good mindset about that.
The decision to postpone the fall season has been hard for coaches, but especially has been for athletes. For junior outside hitter Caitlin Meyer, she and her teammates seem to have taken the postponement as well as they possibly could have. And while she would love nothing more than to be playing the game she loves, she also knows safety comes first.
We actually have been talking about it with the coaches before it was done, and they said that it's probably going to happen. So it wasn't too much of a shock, but obviously we were all sad that it wasn't going to be normal. But we were happy because we figured it was the right decision. Because if we would have had the season, we knew it would probably be canceled or something.
With the team having great success over the past couple of years, including multiple MAC regular season titles, it is the work in the off-season that helped get them there. Practices may look and feel different, but the end goal is still the same.
But normally in this time of the year, we're preparing for a season or playing already at this point, and our focus is more on the team and trying to figure out a way to win each of our matches. And now that we aren't competing, we are able to kind of shift our focus to more individual and technical changes, and also doing full team practice and playing a lot and getting after it in the gym. But we're able to kind of shift a little bit more into making some of those technical changes that we don't necessarily focus on in the fall normally, because we just need to we need to focus on the team.
As for the men's soccer team, they too are dealing with the challenges COVID-19 has brought. And while there may not be a fall season to play, players and coaches are still making sure to put in the work on the practice field.
I'll first of all say practice has been really good. Probably a lot of that has to be, obviously we don't have the games to anchor us, but it's been so long since we trained. Guys are really eager. And we have a really good group, a really driven group of guys that just, they want to get better.
It is safe to say a lot of changes have been made for fall athletics, but one thing that hasn't is in the culture of the soccer program at BG. Coach Nichols believes this is what will get him and his team through this tough time.
I think I would just leave it at that thing I was talking about with the culture. I mean, we're leaning on it a lot right now. Leaning on culture, leaning on older guys, leaning on even younger guys. You came in knowing that there'd be adversity, and we kind of think there's going to be certain types of adversity. None of us guessed there'd be a global pandemic, but that's adversity we have. Is that going to derail us or not? And so we're really leaning on our culture, and our culture is paying off right now.
Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Jake Elston.
Many events that take place on campus usually happening in person, but now a lot are happening virtually. Reporter Marianne Vanderbeke spoke with officials about how Campus Fest is one of those events being held online.
Campus Fest has traditionally been one of the most action-packed days of the semester. Health guidelines due to COVID-19 have made changes to how Campus Fest is done a necessity. Student organizations are finding new ways to bring in new members and connect with existing ones. Anna Berkmeyer, president of Alpha Phi Omega Service Fraternity, said the changes were tough, but they are optimistic that they can make it work.
I definitely think recruitment will be a challenge this semester, just because the biggest way that we usually get recruitment is out of tabling at the union and being able to see people face to face. And it's so much easier for potential new members to get what we are about by seeing us in person and seeing our brotherly bonds in person. And with being online, it's going to be really hard to convey that to new members.
Brian Heilmeyer, Associate Dean of Students, is excited about how the student organizations have stepped up this semester.
And so really, I think Campus Fest is a great way to find those things, and I think the digital version will make it more accessible to everybody because while it was a fun atmosphere, it also could be intimidating to a new student.
Berkmeyer has a piece of advice for those looking to make connections this semester.
Any freshman or anyone who is interested in any student organization is definitely put yourself out there. I didn't join Alpha Phi Omega until the spring semester of my sophomore year, and I really wish I would have joined it sooner. I've met so many friends from my organization that I never would have met unless I joined Alpha Phi Omega, and it's helped me grow in leadership and helped my confidence grow so much. So I would definitely recommend that even if anyone is a little bit interested in an organization, just to put themselves out there and face those fears of trying something new, because it could really change your life.
Virtual Campus Fest runs until September 10th.
The coronavirus is forcing many students to stay home in an effort to stay safe. Reporter Nia Lambdin spoke with students attending college online and the officials who want to see them succeed.
As students are separated between BGSU and home, the community within grows stronger. Students at home are still connected to the campus through the multitude of organizations available for them to join. Frankie Moore, a fully virtual first-year student, praises that
once I started getting involved in Greek life and with AMA, it kind of felt more connected with the people who are actually on campus. My honors advisor, reaches out all the time, asking if I need to do a virtual meeting, if I need anything, I can just message him. All of my professors were very understanding when I told them that I was going to be fully remote. They gave me, the WebEx links or the Zoom links, and, they didn't question why I was staying home.
Community groups and staff have worked hard to create a connection between themselves and the students. Chad Nolan, a second-year graduate assistant for the Chapman Learning Community, explains that.
And so I hope that no matter what experience students are having, whether they're in a learning community, not in a learning community, I hope that they are taking advantage of these different opportunities because, like I said, I do see them as opportunities and not setbacks. I know it can look really different and feel a little bit different than I think we were all hoping for. I think especially for first year students who also lost out on a lot of, I think, their senior year of high school if they're coming directly from high school. A lot of students definitely didn't have, I'd say, the more normal experience in that regard. And so we are here, and I would hope that everyone on campus is really open to that feedback as well. We want to give you the best experience possible within the means that we have.
Chapman, along with other organizations, are working to keep virtual students involved using virtual escape rooms, podcasts, MTV dorm room shows through Zoom, virtual museums, trivia nights on Zoom, and virtual scavenger hunts.